Nice to see you all joining in the room. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna wait while folks are audio joining. Say hello to everybody out there on the live stream. Hi, folks on the live stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I just want to start today's Daily Antidote of Song just by noting that we are sending today's singing out to Bonnie, who lost her mom, Ione, last night. And you all might remember Ione. She's been in this room with us. I'm actually not remembering if she was 103 or 104. She's joined us for 104. She's joined us for card writing parties. She's joined us to sing along. Bonnie did beautiful interviews with her mom on the Daily Antidote of Song StoryCorps page, and we're going to put that link in the chat in case anybody wants to go and listen to it today as a way of connecting with Bonnie and Ione. She's a beautiful member of our community. We're going to miss her greatly, and we're sending today's singing out to Bonnie and her family. So thanks everybody for being there and for helping us share some love with Bonnie. Let's say hi to everybody again on the live stream. Hi, gang, and in the room. So Jaden, thanks for running tech today, coming in from Silver Spring, Maryland. Brendan, thank you for being here from Brattleboro, Vermont. Hello to Kevin in DC. Hi, Mabel and One Bear in Massachusetts. One Mabel and One Bear. Hi, Aloysius in Massachusetts. Harriet in Chicago. Nice to have you with us today. Hello, Liliana, back for day 2. We're glad to see you here again today. Glad you joined. Deli in Maryland. Hello. Gary Pausner in Massachusetts. Hello. Spruce Kraus, hello. Nice to have you with us again today. Hi to Nancy's Irish Cow in Washington State, Susan in Cincinnati, Ohio, Arlene in Berkeley, Cricket in Maryland, Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, reminding us that today is day 1272. Thank you, Carolyn. And please give an actual in-person hug to Bonnie for us when you see her, and tell her everybody here at the Daily is thinking about her with so much love. Hoda in British Columbia, hello. Antonina in Santa Cruz, California, hello. Annette in California, hello. Kathleen in Albuquerque, hello. We're glad to have you back again. Hope you had a nice birthday. Sue Miller in Seattle, nice to see you today. Linda in Orcas Island, hi. Curly Tops in Vermont, hello and hello. Hi to Ann in Silver Spring, Bob in Massachusetts, Julie in Ontario, Hindi in Toronto, Bob in Albany. Hello to Trish in Victoria, and folks off video today, Karen in Oregon, Amos in Mass, Anne in Nashville, Moon in Alexandria, Bronwyn in Victoria, Caroline in DC, Rainbow Lone Star in Virginia, Lynn in Connecticut, and a couple of folks coming in still, Anne in Knoxville, and Tusi. We're glad you all joined us today. Let's all take a deep breath. Thanks, everybody. So I do want to say again, we're going to send all of the singing out today to Ione's beautiful spirit and to Bonnie and her family in their time of grief. So thank you for helping us to do that today. I'm actually going to turn today's hosting over to Jaden, who's going to introduce the magical, amazing Brendan Taaffe. What is there to say, actually, after that? And Jaden's going to host the rest of the day. And Jaden, thank you for being here. And Brendan, thank you too.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, sending a lot of love out to Bonnie and Ione and their whole family. Really wonderful to have Brendan Taaffe here today. He's been with us a bunch on the Daily Antidote of Song, but just in case you don't know, Brendan is a singer, a performer, song leader, composer. He does a lot of different things. He plays lots of different instruments. He's deeply versed in Irish and American traditions. And as we'll also hear, he spent some time recently in Senegal and Ghana. So he has lots of musical inspiration and knowledge that he's drawing from. Welcome, Brendan. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see everybody.
Good to be with you. So what song are we going to be singing today?
Well, we are, so I just got back from 3 weeks in West Africa, 2 weeks in Ghana, and then a week in Senegal. And so this is a kid's song from Ghana that we're going to learn that I learned. So I was running this 2-week-long singing camp, and we had 6 Ghanaian singers with us traveling around the country. And we were in Kumasi, which is the second major city of Ghana. Accra is the capital, and Kumasi is the kind of cultural center of the Ashanti. And so we were there to do some drumming and dancing, and then one evening we went back to where we were staying, and the Ghanaians were just hanging out, and they started singing this magical little song. It's called Pete Pete, and it's a call and response. And your response is, I'll say the sounds, they aren't words, they're vocables. Senua, try that. Senua, dedende. Senua dedende senua. So I will call something and your response is senua dedende senua. And I don't even exactly know how this would get written in Twi, which is the majority language of Ghana. They have some vowels we don't have. So we're just going to learn it out of the oral tradition. So I would sing pete pete and you would sing senua dedende senua, and we'll do that a couple times. Pete pete senua dedende senua, pete pete senua dedende senua, pete pete senua dedende senua. So the song is a story, and pete is a vulture, and in particular, it's a young vulture. And so the story is, vulture, vulture, pete, pete. O mama refrewo, your mother is calling you. O papa refrewo, your father is calling you. And then the vulture says, what do they want? And they say, well, it's time for dinner. You have to go home. And the young vulture says, well, I mean, what's for dinner? And then what's for dinner is fufu and groundnut soup, and he's pretty excited about that. So he goes home. And there's some overlap. So sometimes I'll cut off the response short so that I can do the next thing on time, but you're supposed to keep going so that they overlap, right? So pete pete senua dedende senua, pete pete senua dedende sen, wo mama refrewo senua dedende senua, papa refrewo senua dedende senua, o se maya den senua dedende senua, o se bezizi senua dedende senua, e benzi bana senua dedende senua, fufuna benkwan senua dedende senua. And then when the call goes boom 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 boom, which I think means boom 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 boom, your call changes a little bit and goes senua dedende senua dedende senua dedende senua, boom 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 boom, senua dedende senua dedende senua dedende senua. Right, so that's the whole structure of the song. There's the story, and then we get to, I guess it's like the chorus that's triggered by the boom boom boom, and you change and you go up higher. So just to review, the call for the story part of the song is senua dedende senua, senua dedende senua. And then when I go boom 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 boom, senua dedende senua dedende senua dedende senua, boom boom boom, senua dedende senua dedende senua dedende senua. And then of course the Ghanaians were doing clapping rhythms while they were singing it, and I'll just give you what some of them are, and you can play around with them. So one person would just be clapping the pulse, 1 2 3, but leaving out the 4. 1 2 3. 1 2. And then another person's clapping on the ands of 2 and 3 and 4. So it's 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 1 2. and then a third person. And I know, like, we're scattered to the winds of the Ethernet, so we can't actually put these all together. But just so you know what would be happening, the third person is doing a 3 on top of that. So it's. And if you put those all together at the same time, you get what Ghanaians call the high life beat, which is ubiquitous through every song we learned. So, like I said, we can't actually do that digitally all together because of lag time. But if we ever have a chance to do this together, we'll be putting clapping patterns to it. So let's try the song. We'll go through it a couple times. And pete pete senua de dende senua pete pete senua de dende senua wo mar frewo senua de dende sen wo papara frewo senua de dende senua o se maya den senua de dende senua o se bezizi senua de dende senua e benzi bana senua de dende senua fufuna benkwan senua de dende senua bom 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 senua de dende senua de dende senua de dende senua bom 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 senua de dende senua de dende senua de dende senua pete pete senua de dende senua pete pete senua de dende senua wo mama frewo senua de dende senua papa frewo senua de dende senua o se maya den senua de dende senua o se bezizi senua de dende senua e benzi bana senua de dende senua fufuna benkwan senua de dende senua de dende senua de dende senua boom 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 senua de dende senua de dende senua de dende senua boom 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 senua de dende senua de dende senua de dende senua. And there's our story of our little vulture.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brendan.
Uh,
Oh, that was really fun. I wish I could have heard everybody clapping, but I can try to imagine it. Yeah.
yeah, it's the rhythm brings this whole other level to it.
Nice, nice. And so you learned that when you were in Ghana just from some kids you met. Is that the story?
Well, they were adults, so the way we structured the camp was that the tuition of the international participants subsidized some Ghanaian participants.
Awesome.
So we had like 20 international singers and then 6 Ghanaian singers. So this was from those 6. We were just hanging out one night, and they just started singing this amazing song.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you were mostly like in your song camps there, kind of learning and exchanging through oral tradition like we did today, or
yeah, it was a mix.
Okay.
And like I certainly went. That's what I was hoping for, and that what I was expecting to find. And kind of and part of the discovery was finding that's part of what the Ghanaian singers are really into. But they also have a real like a written out choral tradition. So some of it was scored. We got to see a couple performances, and it seems like the standard way that a Ghanaian choir likes to perform is like their first set is like pretty what I would call Western sounding bel canto style voice, kind of contrasting motion in the interior parts, like definitely drawing on lessons from kind of European choral music. And then the second set is the high life stuff, and they
Okay.
the rhythm section going. and kind of cut loose a little bit. So that they, there were both, and we learned things from both, kind of the first set and the second set, as it were, which was interesting. It's great to, like, I think we all have like a certain idea of what African music or Ghanaian music is going to sound like, and it's there's diversity within that. So.
Yeah, that's really great to hear, and thanks for sharing with us about that. And also, so this is not the first time you've been to Ghana, right? Doing this trip?
It was the first time I've been to Ghana, actually.
Right.
Yeah. I've been to the continent before. I've been to Zimbabwe a couple times, but
Okay.
this was the first time to Ghana.
Hmm. So what are some of the things that are still kind of, you know, like sitting with you now that you're back, or memories, things you learned?
Yeah, I mean, we would need longer. There's
Yeah.
from the trip, and um, like definitely kind of grappling with the history of it. Um, so as I was saying, I think before everyone showed up, I had this, because of rerouting and travel snafus. I ended up with this long layover in Lisbon on the way home. I had an 8-hour layover in Lisbon, and got off the plane. I'm like, well, there's no way I'm staying in the airport for 8 hours. So, like, Lisbon has, you can. I have an European passport, so I like just like breeze through customs, and then like go down an escalator, and there's like a very lovely subway station. 30 minutes into the center of the city, every different subway station has like different art going on, so each one
Oh,
seems
cool.
unique. It's really beautiful seeing all this public art, and you get into the center of Lisbon, and like beautiful, expansive public space, and gorgeous buildings, and like amazing infrastructure, like all this cheap public transportation that works, and it was very lovely and very comfortable, and was in stark contrast to Accra and to Dakar in Senegal, where like the infrastructure is terrible. I mean, like Dakar, the one main road from the airport to the city, and the airport's really far outside of the city. That one road is okay, but then like the rest of the roads in the capital city of one of the more prosperous countries in West Africa, like they're all dirt, and they have potholes the size of Denmark.
Oh,
Like really disastrous infrastructure, and so I was in Lisbon, and just, I mean, on the one hand, enjoying the change, but also like, oh right, so Portugal was actually the first colonial country. They started the slave trade in the 1400s, and they built their wealth by extracting the wealth of West Africa, among other places. And so, like, that's what you get when you have 500 years of wealth to sit on, is like really beautiful infrastructure. And, and like, so that cycle of extraction throughout West Africa was just starkly evident. And, the slave trade ended in the mid 1800s, but the colonial system just continued that cycle of extraction. They were just extracting different things, and now like that continues to this day, where like so Ghana is one of the major cocoa exporters in the world. But they don't make the chocolate; they just send the raw cocoa elsewhere, and so the cocoa producers like realize maybe 5% of what you spend on that chocolate bar. The manufacturers get the money, and the manufacturers are in Europe and the U.S. And so that cycle just continues. That was really it's been a lot of reflection on that, a lot of reflection on on the history of it. But an amazing thing was in Ghana, as a group, we went to the Cape Coast Castle, which was one of the the castles where people were held in dungeons before being sent off as enslaved people on the Middle Passage, which was an intense experience. And we had a group debrief later, and like we all kind of were processing and struggling with that in different ways. And one of the Ghanaians said, we're over it. We've moved on, and we just want everyone back home, wherever your home is, the US or the UK, to know that like we love you and we would love you to come here and we will welcome you with open arms. And so that was amazing. And so there's a lot of reflection happening around that whole tightly wrapped, tightly knotted ball of string of history, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and reflections on that. Yeah, I mean, there's no easy way to sit with the history of colonialism and the reality of colonialism, because it's still with us today. So I just appreciate you sharing it. And yeah, we all have to kind of figure out how to deal with this.
We've been really invested in maintaining this cycle, like the CIA, it's tacitly acknowledged, sponsored the coup that overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, the first leader of Ghana. We definitely had Lumumba assassinated in the Congo. Because like those guys were advocating for a political coalition of West African states that was Marxist inspired, and that was terrifying. We built the atomic bomb that we dropped on Hiroshima with Congolese uranium. So we needed that. We needed that access. We protected that access at all costs.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing some of these things to light. Somebody said in the chat, I'm getting an education today. Yeah, it's the whole thing we do here. And thanks for just speaking about this honestly. Yeah. I think it might be nice to sing another song.
Yeah. Here's a little half-year show and tell. So this is called an Akon Ting. As you can tell, it has a super long neck. And you can also probably see that this is a precursor of the banjo. It's got 3 strings. They might not show up on the screen very well. They're all the same gauge fishing line. And this is the instrument of southern Senegal. So Senegal, if you can kind of envision it, the Gambia's in the middle of Senegal, which was just a super narrow zone of control by the British along that river, and then the French had the rest of the area. So to get from northern Senegal to southern Senegal, you go through the Gambia. And this is from southern Senegal. And so after being in Ghana for 2 weeks, I went to this little village in the Casamance in southern Senegal and hung out and learned how to play some Akon Ting. And so I thought I'd share what that sounds like, and then there's a little song we can sing. So that's how the song goes, and it has words which are Ndine Inore sheri, Ndine Inore awe, Ndine Inore baba, Ndine Inore mama. So I'll break that down. Ndine, which means I. Ndine, which I think would be Ndine. This is in Kwatai, which is a dialect of Jola. Ndine Inori, Ndine Inori Sheri. means I am thinking of my friends. Ndine, Inore, Awe, I'm thinking of you. Ndine, Inore, Baba, I'm thinking of my father. Ndine, Inore, Mama, I'm thinking of my mother. So I thought this would be a nice song to send out to Bonnie in her time of grieving. So, Ndine, Inore, Chérie, friend. Ndine, Inore, Awe, you. Ndine, Inore, Baba, father. Ndine, Inore, Mama, mother. Ndine, Inore, Chérie. Ndine, Inore, Awe. Ndine, Inore, Baba. Ndine, Inore, Mama. Ndine, Inore, Chérie. Ndine, Inore, Awe. Ndine, Inore, Baba. Ndine, Inore, Mama. Ndine, Inore, Chérie. Ndine, Inore, Awe. Ndine, Inore, Baba. Ndine, Inore, Mama.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Brendan.
Thank
And
you.
thanks for showing off your instrument a little bit too. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
My newest toy.
One more time.
My newest toy.
Oh, yes, of course. And there's one thing that I forgot to ask you about, which is that you were with Dr. Kathy B in Ghana and
I
Senegal.
was. Yeah. Yep. It's great.
Awesome. Just had to shout her out because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
very beloved here in the
Yeah.
Daily Antidote. And so you hadn't taken a trip with her before.
Well, we have taken trips together. We've done 2 singing camps in Costa Rica, and we've been in Ireland and Scotland together. But first time to Ghana with her. She's been many times before.
Yeah, okay. That's really special. Any last things that you want to say about your time there? Or
Oh gosh.
I know there's probably a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot. No, I feel really lucky to have gone. It was a big experience, and the 2 parts of it were super different. Being with a group of people for 2 weeks in Ghana, and then just being on my own in this little village where, like, my French is mediocre and my Kwata is non-existent. So, like, just figuring out how to communicate and how to learn this thing and totally different instruments. Yeah, it was just feel lucky to have taken that big journey.
Mm, that's really wonderful. And there's been a request, if people want to attend a trip like this, maybe next year or something, how can you remind us of the website for that?
Yeah, if you go to turtledoveharmony.org, or I have my website, brendantaaffe.com, and you should be able to sign up for the mailing list at either one of those. I can tell you that next year I'm running a singing camp in Western Massachusetts, so a little less exotic than Ghana, but still wonderful. That will be in August. And then I'll also be in southern France in July.
Oh, okay.
And
Very
that will be through Village Harmony, which is villageharmony.org, for the trip to France.
okay, wonderful. Yes, we know Village Harmony here, so I'm sure people will be really excited to check that out. Okay, thank you. Sorry, so much for singing with us today and just
Yeah,
sharing about
yeah,
your experience. And also just want to say one more time that we're all extending our hearts towards Bonnie and her family right now. And thanks for singing with us in My Own Spirit today, Brendan.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, Brendan, for being here. Let's wave Brendan out if he needs to go. And thank you again for your time today.
Yeah. See you next time.
See you next time. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thanks for everybody who watched on the live stream. Glad that you tuned in today. And thank you to everybody who joined in the room. So that's Kevin in DC. Thanks for being here. I see Mabel and a bear in Massachusetts, and Liliana Stansbury. Thanks for joining again today. Spruce in Minneapolis. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for joining today. Susan G in Cincinnati, and Arlene in Berkeley. And I see a little friend with you. I'm glad that they're in the screen too. Cricket in Maryland, thanks for being here. And Carolyn in Boise, thanks for being with us today. Hoda in BC, great to see you. And Nina in Santa Cruz, thanks for joining today. Goodbye to Annette in California, and Kathleen in Albuquerque. Bye Sue in Angeli, somewhere not where you're not usually. Usually you're in Seattle. Okay. I'll look at your full name later. Okay. Linda on Orcas Island, thanks for being here today. And Bob in Albany, and in Knoxville, thanks for joining. Martha in Oregon, thanks for being here today. Goodbye to Kevin Ennis in New Hampshire, glad you made it. And Storm, who is just glad you're with us today. And Diane in Puerto Rico, thanks for being here. Aloysius in Westford, Mass, thanks for joining today. Goodbye to Harriet in Chicago. Bye to Deli in Silver Spring, good to see you. And Gary Pausner, whose birthday was yesterday, great to see you again. Bye to Jamie in Victoria, BC, Elizabeth in California. Bye, Curly Tops in Vermont. I see Willard there, and I know other people were in your screen earlier, so bye to them too. And in Nashville, good to see you today, Bob, where it's rainy in Massachusetts. Thanks for joining. Goodbye to Hindi and Anne in Silver Spring. Nancy and your Irish cow, thanks for being here. Goodbye to Amos and Moon in Virginia. Goodbye to Caroline in DC, and Rainbow Lone Star, thanks for joining us again. Goodbye to Lynn in Connecticut, and goodbye to Kat in Vermont. And of course, thank you to Joe Rossi for being here today and supporting us in all the ways. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest.